know where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you landed here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfare.
This episode of Chief Concerns is brought to you by betonline.ag. BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, the game starts here. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Chief Concerns. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary Chiefs tight end Jason Dunn. And ladies and gentlemen, we got yourselves a good show tonight. We're going to be talking to the newest Chiefs offensive lineman in C.J. Hanson. And of course, guys, what we said the other day, we were going to be doing a little bit of a kind of demonstration of a rugby and an American football. We've had a lot of European subscribers come on and say, what's an NFL football look like? What's the Duke look like? And we've had some of our American subs say they want to see what a rugby football just looks like in comparison to the NFL football. So we're going to have that for you later on as well. So yeah, JD, how we doing, brother?
Man, I'm good, brother. What's going on, man? It's I tell you what, this is going to be such a fun evening and episode that we're talking, man. To C.J. Hanson, a guy that has a lot of appreciation for playing this game. I think everybody's are in for a treat to see exactly what the Chiefs have in the locker room. And so we're going to get this thing rolling, man. First off, I want to say hi to everybody here in the chat. Rob Miller, appreciate it already, man, for the donation, throwing it to us. Appreciate the love. Lewis Cutright, Hannah, Lacey Snake, About Time, Andre Chenault, Maria, Gary Holland, Sandman. Good to see everybody. Hey, look, we're going to keep this thing rolling. Y'all have some questions, obviously, throw them in the chat. We'll ask CJ. We get these things in, man. That's how it is. So you know how we do, man, on Chiefs Concerns live and in color. This is what it is, Marcus. So let's roll and roll.
Yes, sir. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in the guy, the man of the hour, the man of the episode, our guy, C.J. Hanson, straight out of Holy Cross, coming on the show right now. What's up, C.J.?
How's everyone doing? Thank you for having me here, Marcus and Jason. It's a pleasure to be here, and I can't wait to get it going.
Let's do it, you.
Yeah, man. Good to have you, man. I tell you what, I'm so excited. Just for the simple fact, we just try and get some of the new faces that's coming into the organization out here a little bit so they can know who you are, right? And so obviously offensive line don't necessarily get all the pub, okay? You're not always front and center out there in the media where everybody can see what you're doing. They almost had to pick you out when you're walking around Kansas City because you're 6'6", 300 pounds, and ask you, what do you do for a living, right? And so that's kind of how it boils down to. But, man, I'm glad that you are here. People get to see you in the chat, man. The chat's going to be, just on fire tonight. I'll ask you some questions. You don't mind if they ask you some questions, huh? To know a little bit about C.J. Hanson, what makes him work and stuff, right?
No, this is a family. That's what I live by. And anything I could do to get closer to my Chiefs kingdom and everyone else, I'll do it. So.
Good deal, man. So, yeah, let's rock and roll with the thing then. So,
yeah. So CJ, the one thing before we got into the episode tonight, there was when we drafted you. Obviously, we talked about the connections that we have with one another. I immediately wanted to get you on the show, and that was before I saw this video of when you got called that you were going to be a Kansas City Chief. And that video right there, CJ, as a diehard fan, and I know a lot of these fans out here, when they see the draft videos, when guys get the call, and obviously it's a life-changing moment for you and your family and all the guys who get drafted. When I hear you on the other hand, I'm like, man, that dude's gonna give his life on the line for the Chiefs, for the fan base. And there's certain phone calls when you hear that, like, man, I'm so happy we drafted that guy. You can just tell you were so obviously everyone's happy about getting drafted, but you could tell in the way you were talking to Andy Reid that you were so into it. You were so ready for the moment. I'm just gonna play it for any of the fans who haven't seen this.
How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm so excited, Coach. I'm so excited. I couldn't be happier. I'm going to give you my all, and I'm going to show you how great I am. That's what I'm going to do, Coach. That's who I am.
We love that.
So just seeing hearing that moment, I was like, ah, man, that guy's a beast, and I'm so excited. But can you kind of talk at that moment when you finally? Because I saw two videos. So one where you're celebrating with your family and friends, and I see that, and I'm like, man, I'm so happy we drafted you. Talk about that moment when you got the call from Coach Reid.
Yeah, I was, pacing around the hallway, and like in the third day, you get calls from like O-line coaches. Like they're not draft calls, but like you're just getting calls from coaches, so you don't know what the next call is. And it's in the hallway, and then I see KC Chiefs pop up, and I'm like, all right, what is this going to be? And then pick up the phone, and it's Veach, and I'm like, oh my god! And he's like, we're going to take you here. And, you could hear it in my voice. I immediately go kind of hysteric and almost start crying. But what I said there is, what I've been bred to do. I'm going to show you how great I am. And I think all the things that I got in college is just giving my all every day. Your best is always good enough. And I'm going to show you how great I am. That's just who I am. And being able to be on a team like the Chiefs, I never saw it coming as well. So, when I got that call, I was so shell-shocked by who I was talking to in the moment, and also that I was going to the back-to-back Super Bowl champs. And I had 150 people in the other room of friends and family, like not knowing what's going on. And I walked in there. We had the only little thing we had was like a pendant, and it was like a really small pendant of KC Chiefs. And I went on the table and picked it off. No one saw it coming. And, to have that moment, and I was crying for the rest of the night. I put my whole life into this, and I will continue to put my whole life into it. So it was just so surreal, and I'm so blessed, and I couldn't be in a luckier spot.
Well, CJ, man, I tell you that it is without a doubt a blessing and a privilege to play in the NFL, and for it to be a lifelong dream. To put the hard work and effort, and for it all to come to fruition at that moment, getting that phone call, just hearing the gratitude that you have in your voice, the appreciation for being in the NFL. And I know for you, it could have been any team. It could have been any team, right?
Yep.
But you landed here. You landed here with the Kansas City Chiefs, man, the world champs, obviously looking for a three-peat this year. That in itself is a reward, right? Mm-hmm. Because you're going to a championship organization, which is another plus. But I look at some of the things that you said, and I've seen some of your interviews. I got to cheer for you. Like I said, I came from a small school, EKU, and then seeing you come from Holy Cross, man. I got a root for guys like you, man. I'm telling you, you got a fan right now by JD coming from a smaller school. I know you do it because you already have that passion, you have that will, you have that determination and that perseverance to make it on a squad like this, man. So I just want to give you your flowers right now, man. And I can't wait to get out there to training camp to see what you actually do out there on the field, man. So
I appreciate it. Yeah. And I think you hit it right on the nail. It's all about perseverance. Everything, you could have some down slopes, but you keep working, you keep giving your best, and the sky's the limit. And, you have rough times in your life, just keep working at what you love, and it will take you and all fold into itself, and you'll be great. But yeah, I'm very lucky. Like you said, it's a gift, and it's an absolute gift. And not many people get to go for history in their first year of the NFL. So being able to do that it's more than a gift. There's no way to describe that luck that I have, and that blessing that I have, and all those people looking after me. So,
man, so let me ask you, did who all came to your personal workout? I know you went to the combine. I seen you on the combine, running the 5 flat 4.99, I think it was close to.
Yeah.
And they was talking about how athletic you were, and just blew it out the water, brother. So did the Chiefs come to your personal workout? Who was the other teams, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm pretty sure we had all 32 teams there. So
okay.
we had some good athletes. So it was me, Dylan Lauby, and Jalen Coker, who was my wide receiver teammate. So we had some good caliber athletes there. So we ended up having, I think, pretty much every team. I think maybe one team was missing, but I think we had every team. My mom put together a great spread for all of them. Yeah, that's a big story. She's a team mom. That's her life.
Okay.
And she put down like a whole 3 long tables of just food, and it was like a wedding style, just appetizers and everything. And I think that helped out a lot. So
yeah. I started thinking as a team, like, man, we're going to get this every weekend on Sundays. It's going to be eating good in the park a lot after the game is over. So, yeah, it is a plus. It is a plus.
Now, did you you said all the teams were at your workout, but how much communication did you have with the Chiefs specifically before the draft?
I talked to them at the Combine. I didn't talk to them at the East-West Shrine Bowl. But so my head coach, Coach Chesney, grew up with Veach. So they've been friends for a while. The only information I had from the Chiefs, like real information besides the interviews I had, was Veach and Chesney's phone call. It wasn't about me. It was about my receiver, just talking about what he thinks. And at the end, he asked what he thinks of me. And he was like, oh, he's getting drafted, guaranteed. And then it came down to the last pick, and they took me. So I'm lucky to have that connection as well. I mean, it's a blessing. And I would have never thought it though, just having that information, like, oh, he's a guaranteed draft pick, but you never think it's going to happen. But
that's awesome.
Man, yeah. And from a small school too. So when I got drafted, I had another guy that was a wide receiver, was an undrafted free agent that came with me to the Eagles. And we played on the same team, and that was incredible just for your teammate in college to all of a sudden be your teammate in the NFL. But then when you get to see your friend on the other, the other sideline, before the game and after, man, it's such a like, man, can you believe we made it? We're here. Like that moment, like, golly, man, we put a lot of time and effort into getting to where we want to get to, just kind of fulfilling our dreams. So we want to move over, I guess, now into where you are. You're here with the Chiefs, starting mini camp. You get into the city. Give me your first impression of everything. Like just blow us away with what your thought process is, man.
First impressions. Get there. You kind of get thrown right into it with rookie mini camp. It's camp, and it's a quick 3 days. So you don't get much time to explore. It's just kind of all working and grinding on the field and in the weight room and in the classroom. So, I mean, I didn't really get to see much in rookie mini camp. Just got to know the other rookies and see how all the coaches work and what the standard is and what Coach Reed, the formula is. And, just getting a grip of that. And then when you come back, you really get thrown into everything else. And when I got to explore the city, got to try some barbecue, which I like barbecue a lot. Don't get me wrong. I just can't eat it more than twice a week or once a week. It's just, I don't know, but I love it. And I'm lucky to every weekend I would go to a different spot and try it out. But, I mean, I was lucky to be a part of such a great class that, like, me and my O-line buddies, we would go out to eat every weekend. And, I have people like Joe Tooney. I'm the only rookie O-lineman without a girlfriend. So he found that out and he was like, yeah, come over for dinner. I already ate. So I was like, damn, I missed an opportunity. I missed a big opportunity. But, it's literally all been love and work and that family bond. Everyone's looking out for each other. Everyone's trying to get each other better. And it's just lucky. And I love the city already, going down to the Power and Light District. That photo shoot that we had was super cool with all the drafted guys. I was just thrown into the mix. I did 2 charity events, one at the Children's Hospital and then one Creed's Barbecue charity event, which were awesome. So getting to know the community, and you just see the passion around everywhere for Chiefs. And even just driving around, you see how many people are just like love the Chiefs. And you go out to eat and some guy asks you what you do and you tell him you play on the Chiefs and they're like, oh my God, oh my God, you're here right now? Like, why are you here?
Right.
And, it's just awesome being a part of such a passionate fan group and a passionate team. And, it's been a blessing so far. And yeah.
Okay. So this whole thing is surreal for you. I know that entire feeling. So it comes into a point now of putting your hard hat on, being professional, going to work, right? Every single day. Like you said, when you come in to that rookie training camp, it's fast, like in and out, man. They're getting you prepared. They throwing a whole lot of terminology and stuff like that your way. Has the transition, the crossover at least been pretty smooth for you, coming from Holy Cross into the NFL with what the Chiefs do offensively, scheme-wise, terminology and whatnot? How has that transition been for you right now?
Yeah, scheme-wise, it fits me perfectly. Doing a lot of pulls, a lot of screens, a lot of running technique. But I would say scheme-wise, I fit perfectly. There's a lot more plays, a lot more stuff. But
Okay.
I think I'm blessed to come from Holy Cross being such a good school. I got such good study habits and such good learning habits there that, I was able to excel, learning fast. And I didn't think I was able to. I don't know if I didn't know if I was ready, but I was able to pick this stuff up simply just because, I had the same scheme at Holy Cross, and I was able to study these terms and all this wordage that I needed to learn for the next day very quickly. So I'm lucky to have the experience in the past to be able to put forward what, I was able to do in rookie minicamp and OTAs. But I know there's always learning, and every day I got to get better. There's always something I can fix every day. So, it wasn't the hardest, but it wasn't easy. It definitely wasn't easy. And I know camp's going to be a lot harder. We got so many runs to put in, so many passes. So I've been on my grind the past month. So, it was difficult, but, I got it done, and I could have been better, but I will be better. So,
yeah. But a lot of it is, the retention. That's what they throw to you just to test you, to see exactly where you are, right? And so, when you said, as far as scheme wise, what you're doing, and I see a lot of, inside zone, outside zone, mid zone. As a play, I always tell people out here what I hate is when we run the wide zone with the running back on the opposite side. It just takes such a long time for him to get there.
Yep.
I absolutely hate that play. I hate it. I do, because our running back shoulders are not parallel to the line of scrimmage, and so it makes it look like either he missed a hole or somebody's not getting a block. Yeah. And I said, man, it's a long developing play, and so you know how it is, man. When you're trying to sustain your block in the NFL, it's different than it is in college, and so you're going to learn that once you get the pads on, how difficult it really is, man. But I'm glad you said that there's a lot of crossover, but you're retaining a lot of the information. And preparing you for the NFL, it is key. I see a lot of guys come in, and sometimes guys just can't get it, and that puts guys, man, on the back end. Really, that will put you on the fringe of things. But what I will say about you is, one thing that kept coming up was your athleticism, your athletic ability. On how good of an athlete C.J. Hanson was at Holy Cross. And so, let me ask you this. I don't know if this is true or not, but did you play some tight end at some point somewhere, or?
I didn't play tight end ever, like actual tight end. I'm pretty sure I lined up just at the extra tackle one or twice, but I didn't really play tight end much. I was more just if we're going to pull, run power, run any pulling type scheme, I was the guy pulling. I was the guy getting put out in space and going to make the block. I pride myself on that. I pulled probably 70% of the game if we were pulling. And we really only ran gap scheme in college because we were a heavy 13P, 12P team and just hard-nosed football, just run down their throats. They're not going to stop us. We had a great running quarterback, so it was now we have an extra blocker with a running back. Why not run 13P and have 14 people in the hole and just dominate everybody? So I was just the key puller, and I would just I love it. It's my favorite thing to do. Run full speed into somebody and just show them who's boss. So
annihilate them. The smaller guys, man.
It's the offensive line's highlight play. It's for run blocking. You could get pancakes, but that's not realistic to get pancakes every day. But you hit a pole and you hit it good, and seal that gap or knock them over or do whatever, like that's a highlight. That is a highlight. Especially a big man moving in space, you don't see it much often. So.
No. And it's a dangerous look for defense. Man, linebackers, DB, safeties, they all hate to see that. A big guy that can move in space, because nobody wants that type of pain. They just don't, because they thinking about the cold tub, what all they have to do for the next week of practice, like trying to recover from getting hit by a Mack truck. Yeah. So
it was definitely great in college. I was able to really show my talents there. And I do it to my practice habits. Every day in college, I did a 100-yard sprint so we were down at the end, corner end zone to field goal. Every day I would run a 100-yard sprint. And I think that's exactly where my athleticism came from and speed. I just every day I made sure I was running as fast as I could. I was beating everybody in top. I was hitting 20 miles an hour in practice some days. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So it definitely got to continue that. And I'm sure I will. And when camp comes, but I think it comes down to my practice habits and my coaching and my strength and conditioning coach at Holy Cross, Coach Grotsky. He's a wizard at what he does. I mean, he has made some talented kids. And we're going to next year have a couple kids coming out from Holy Cross. And, we had me and Jalen this year, but I mean, I was just lucky to have such great coaching in college. So.
Okay. It's good. It's good.
Now, CJ, we talked before the show about this rookie class, incoming class with you, Hunter McCade, who's a friend of the show who we had on about a month ago, that you guys all, and this is something that Andy Reid always prides himself on, and we always have these offensive linemen who can fill in all over the line. And you're currently right now listed as an OL, so I'm assuming you're going to play a little bit all over the line as well. So kind of talk to us about how like that versatility helps you, and it helps, just in kind of your experience during minicamp where all you guys are kind of playing all over the place during minicamp.
Yeah, I mean, it's so cool to be able to play multiple positions. You kind of have to in the NFL. So knowing that coming into the draft process, I grinded out center, never played center, and was able to get grips on that. But when I got to OTAs and minicamp, being able to play right guard, center, and left guard, switching it up every day, getting those reps every day, and all three of us would inter switch. So if Hunter was at second center one day, I would be at second center the next day, and then it would just be switching back and forth, and all of us are able to work off each other, and at all times I have a guy next to me that plays my position. So that communication is massive. Being able to have a guy next to you that can help you out in any situation, that I think it breeds that culture and breeds that like bond with your brother next to you. Like sometimes you're down bad, sometimes you need help, and sometimes that help, it just makes that bond so much stronger. So I was lucky to be able to play all three, play next to basically everybody on the offensive line, except the interior three starting guys. But it's lucky. I was very lucky, and I think Coach Heck did such an incredible job with the rotation the whole time, getting all of us prepared for each position. So, yeah.
That's good. That's good. So you're saying you haven't worked in with the first three guys like Creed, Trey, or
Creed, Trey, and Joe I haven't played with, or Jawan I haven't played next to.
Okay.
I think pretty much everyone else I've played next to at this point. So, yeah.
I'm sure you're gonna get the shot in camp to do it. I mean, that's how they're gonna throw you in to see, throw you to the wolves and see if you could go ahead and eat with the big dogs, right? Throw you in the deep waters and see if you can swim. Yeah, you a big dog? Yeah,
I'll be able to eat. Don't worry.
Well, look, man, I from all the things that's coming out, reports on you, I don't have no doubt whatsoever, man, that you're gonna be able to do that for sure. Talk a little bit about Andy Heck, okay? In the room, kind of his coaching style, his approach to you all, what you're seeing in him as a coach right now that puts this O-line, which I call one of the top in the NFL. I mean, seriously. Yeah, right. And I don't think, a lot of people respect the Chiefs offensive line. There was some problems last year, with obviously some penalties, maybe some holding calls, which I think was terrible anyway, right? You calling the offensive line is terrible. But tell us a little bit about Heck's approach about some of these things, man.
Yeah.
Will.
Yeah, Heck's got so much experience under his belt, and I felt it right when you walk in the room. I didn't know much about Heck. I never met with Heck until I got to camp, and he gives you it straight every time. And there's not much yelling. The only time he'll really yell is if you do the drill wrong outside, which he prepared you inside to do it right. So, I mean, I'm lucky to have him as a coach, all that experience, and he's a perfectionist, and that's all it is. I mean, you got to be perfect in this league, and you could tell, like, when I got in there with all the vets, and he was like, "We didn't do good last year, even though we won. We didn't do good. Like, we could have been so much better in the run game. We had stupid, like you said, penalties, and it's that breed of winning culture that I think he brings to the room, and he also brings a culture of like loving and joking, and it makes the room so much easier to be yourself in. We give jokes. He actually gives out homework assignments too. Like, if we don't know somebody that's like a very famous old lineman that taught him something in his career in the NFL or taught him something while coaching, he'll make us do a homework assignment and like get up in front of the room and tell us what it's about. So.
Oh, wow. I love that. I love it.
So, he breeds like this culture of like, bringing yourself and bringing your personality to the table, and also like being perfect and knowing what you're doing. So he will be a stickler about stuff, which you have to be. I mean, it's a good culture in the room, and I couldn't be luckier to have him as my coach. So.
Shoot, man, you ain't gonna be able to win if it's a lot of complacency. A lot of guys don't have a high standard to perform, and the thing is having that, knowing like, look, we'll never be comfortable. We can always get better, and so regardless of how good y'all think y'all are, we can be that much better. And so that is very important. That guys are not in that position where they are just comfortable with things, right, where they at. And I'm sure he's hollering at Tooney and Creed and all those guys the same as he's going to do for the younger guys, right? That's very important. That's very important. Man, I love it, though, that he's giving y'all homework on some of these guys that's played before. Man, look, I played with some guys, Hall of Famers in Kansas City on the O-line. Two guys three, tight end, Tony Gonzalez, Will Shields, and obviously Willie Rofe. I think Brian Waters should be getting in hopefully at some time, man. But we had regarded as one of the best offensive lines during that time. So I appreciate our offensive line, what they do now, and I try not to put any type of comparison, man. Y'all guys do a great job. Y'all really do. Andy gets y'all guys ready. He really does. So it's good to know that, because it is a toughness, right? I mean, when you are on O-line, you got to breed toughness. You got to be able to do hard things, man. And so when you're going up against, like you said, Chris Jones, or on the other side, these defensive tackles, and you're going to be going up against a good D line with the Raiders, okay, with the Chargers, with the Broncos. It's going to be some good competition you're going to be seeing, right? And so you got to be prepared. You got to be ready, man. So.
Yeah, with training camp coming up in just like 10 days or so, next week sometime. What have the veterans given you any kind of advice, anything to be ready for going into training camp? Anything? What have they told you about training camp?
They said it's hard, going up to St. Joe. You're back in dorms. I think it's great. I think you get to breathe that culture. You're all at the same level again. No one's living in those $1 million mansions and having a great night's sleep. So, I mean, I think it's going to be probably the hardest camp I've ever been a part of, and I'm ready for it. They say it sucks, but I think I'm going to love it. I think it's going to be a great time.
A lot of things that suck about it is just the monotony, man. They're doing the same thing over and over every single day, right? That's what it is. You're just going to get tired of just sleeping on these small beds. You try to make it as comfortable as possible, and trying to get that good sleep after hard days of work. And so I think that's always the part that sucks more than anything else, so.
Do you have your roommate assignment yet?
I do not. So I get down there. Well, Tuesday's the report day, so we'll see then.
Okay. This Tuesday coming up?
Yeah, this Tuesday coming up.
Jeez. Okay. Yeah. Woo, you right here around the corner, man.
Right.
Yeah. Have you had a chance to kind of get a little vacation or do something to kind of get your mind prepared and ready just to, relax a little bit before camp?
Yeah. I was able to right after we finished. My buddy's dad, and it was my buddy's brother's 21st. We went to Vegas for a weekend, fun time. And then that was it. That's all the fun I got. And then I went straight to Boulder, Colorado, got training in the altitude. My uncle lives out there. So I coached up my baby cousin's team for the whole week and got my training in there and did some hikes. And I think the altitude has helped out a lot. Now I'm down in Florida with my trainer for the combine, who I absolutely love, Jordan Llewellyn and LB at X3. So I've been just working the whole time, getting in the playbook. I got to be prepared. They give you a packet and they give you a weight to show up as, and you got to do everything in your power to be the best person you possibly can when you get in, so you can just roll right into it and be ready for it. So,
what do they want you at weight wise?
It's 300 pounds, 305 in there.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. You lean and fighting weight, man. That's good weight for interior guy. No doubt about it. So. You got a good build to you, man. I'm just, when I was seeing you just kind of in your shirt and stuff, like you look lean, man. You look strong. How does it feel as far as like hitting these guys so far?
So far, I mean, it's been great. I mean, we haven't been in pads, and I can't wait for the moment, because I really think that's like the coming to like fruition moment where you get that confidence and how it feels to hit somebody in the new place. So until I feel that, I won't know, but I'm ready for it. But in no pads, I mean, it was fine. We were only really running pass pro, so getting that first contact, hitting them hard on the first thing, and not letting them be able to do their moves. Even when they tried their moves, I was able to hold my ground. So, I mean, I felt good. I felt strong enough. I felt athletic enough to be in that position. So, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of work to do, and we'll see when the pads come on, and we'll see how I roll. I think it's going to be good, though. I'm pretty much all muscle at this point. So
okay, good. It's good.
Rock solid, man. I love that. So we have some questions from the chat that I want to go to. So first question from Lacey Snake: do you have a favorite barbecue joint yet?
Yeah. I would say Q39 is probably the top one. I mean, you just have to go for that. But Jack Stack is also very good. I literally tried every place, so I'm trying to remember the other ones. Jack Stack, Q39. I think those two are my top two that I've had. But I really tried. I tried Gates as well. Gates was okay. I think Jack Stack and Q30. Jack Stack's burn ends. They're like, I think they're called like meat marshmallows, and they're so.
Yeah, Q39 is probably my favorite as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we got from Saflip969, sub CJ. So do you prefer to protect a scrambler or a pocket passer? And two, would you say you are stronger protecting the run plays or pass plays?
I would say, I mean, college, I had a scrambler. So, I mean, I think that fits me more, but I think I'm able to, I think having a pocket passer, I mean, I played with both. Joe Pazanski, our backup, he's a pocket passer. And, when he came in, we didn't skip a beat. It was easy. And, I'm able to hold my ground. I pride myself on not giving up ground in pass pro. So being able to stun a guy at the line and hold him there is my biggest thing. And that's where I pride my athleticism in. I get that quick twitch muscle. I get my hands on first. It disables them to make a move quick. So I think that's my biggest thing. And I think I'm definitely stronger in run plays, but I think in the NFL, it may turn to stronger in pass plays just because, guys are going to be 40, 50 pounds heavier than me. It's going to be harder to move them. But I think for pass plays, I'm going to be able to be in the right position at all times. So I'm going to be able to make sure I'm in the right position, get my hands on. So I think you have to be strong at both. So, I mean, I got to dominate both, and it's going to get there. So I would definitely say I'm a stronger at run plays, and I like scrambler protector better, but I'll take either.
Yeah. Sure. It sounds like, man, you have a good, because you're athletic, you can recover. And to be honest with you, kind of with The question here, doesn't matter who you have behind you, like you said, you do as long as you're doing your job, that's what matters. Yep. And you'll be able to, refit and get the guy if you feel the scramble in the head. And I think is what people, kind of we tune into certain things knowing, well, first off, it's a pass play. The ball needs to be out in a certain amount of seconds, right? We got a clock in our head, needs to be out. And if it doesn't happen and you feel like the ship's being abandoned, then you got to move, right? You got to just be on the move. So,
yep, the D-line will tell you everything. Wherever they go, you go. So even if he beats you, I'm able to get to the hip and push him by. The D lineman will tell you exactly what's going on in the play. They're not going to stop. All you got to do is stay in front of them and make sure they don't make the play. So that's about it. If you know what your defensive lineman's doing, which you should every play, and you should be controlling him every play, then it should be easy for you to figure out what's going on. And
So I'm gonna ask you a question real quick, and this is my observation. Somewhere where we struggled last year, okay, was the some of the twists and some of the stunts not necessarily being on the same level and passing it off. And so I used to be an O-line coach, and so when I would see it, I'm like, daggone, and the guard is not recognized, and somebody's leaving, somebody's coming back, right? It's just how it goes, and the communication sometimes get lost because guys are on different levels, and teams knew that. So they start running a whole lot more of it to try to at least, get that just a little bit where you can get through, So did Andy, did he talk about any of that? Do you know? Did he? Okay.
Yeah, we worked that constantly, working that almost every day. He did bring it up as a point. It's probably the hardest thing to do too. I would say, especially with the athletes that you have on the defensive lineman nowadays, and they're probably 2 times quicker than you, and you got to be able to have that communication and bonding, staying on the same level, which usually never really happens. So someone's got to make a play with their punch and their shove to really be able to make a good twist pass off. So. It's all compensating on what your guy is doing next to you. So if you're not giving up penetration, but he's giving up penetration, you got to know, the twist is probably not going to be good. So you got to stay on. So, it's all about that communication and feeling that guy next to you, which I think Coach Heck has been really good on, just grinding the technique, being vertical, being flat, getting the good shove, shoving him off and regaining that other guy, inside guy. So, it's definitely, I think it's probably the hardest thing to do as an offensive lineman, though. I think without a doubt, especially with the D ends and D tackles that they're putting up against these twists, it's incredible how hard it is. So,
well, we know what they're trying to. They know what they're trying to do. We're just trying to react to it. Okay, here's a twist, right? So it's just, that's good. I'm glad you answered that question, man, because I knew, I was like, man, we're having a hard time. With the twist. All right. It's good.
So we got a question from Rob Miller. CJ, how does it feel to block for one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time? And I'm sure when you got drafted by Chiefs, you're like, oh, man, I'm they're with Mahomes and Kelsey.
Yeah. They're superstars. So they've hit a different level of just a football player, and I was talking to my one buddy who's on the Giants, and he's talking about his guys, and I'm talking about my guys. He's like, you got to realize, bro, you're literally with superstars. These are two of the biggest athletes on the planet. So hearing Patrick Mahomes' voice for the first time, you're like, I heard this voice on the TV so much, and now I'm hearing it in person, and it's wild. And then you get your first snaps with him, and you're like, holy crap, I'm taking snaps with Patrick Mahomes, and you instantly want to get on the phone with your buddies. And I was like, dude, I was taking snaps with him today. It was absolutely wild. But, getting to know him, Pat is just one of the greatest leaders I've ever been around. For a guy like him, he's in there every day, and he controls the field. He does some stuff that you cannot teach. He is by far the greatest football player I've ever seen play the sport. And that's without a doubt. He does some stuff on the practice field, just messing around, but it works. And he's able to pull off some miraculous stuff. And, when I was watching the Super Bowl last year, there wasn't a shadow of a doubt in my head when he got that ball in overtime that he wasn't going to score. Like I think everyone knew he was going to score. It's just who he is. He's a winner, and he gets the job done. And being at OTAs and rookie minicamp for that time with him, you just feel it on him. You just know he's that type of dude. He's a dude that's willing to do anything for the team to get the team better. So I'm lucky to have him as my quarterback, and I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't be more blessed. So
has he joked around with you yet?
Not really, but okay. Once I make the team, hopefully I'll be able to joke around a little bit more with him.
Now, CJ, you're from New Jersey originally, so did you grow up a Giants or a Eagles fan?
Giants fan.
Okay.
Giants fan. Yeah. Not anymore, though. Definitely not anymore.
That's out.
That's gone. Gone forever. Chiefs for life.
Yeah, baby.
How's the running back looking? Talking about New Jersey guys, I know you got one from Violin right down the interstate, in Pacheco. So how's that been blocking for those guys up there?
I mean, it's incredible. Like, you just watch the way that dude runs, and he runs with such fierceness and passion. Like the way he there's no way to describe it. I think he's the hardest running back in the league. Just the way, like, no one's running as hard as him. Like, you could just tell he pushes through everybody. Like, he's not that big. He's not a big dude, but like, he's able to run through people and run through the arm tackles, run through whatever he needs. So it's special, especially to have a Jersey guy. Jersey is my favorite state. I think a lot of people call it the armpit of the United States, but I think it's great. I think I live next to the city, so I got the city. I also got the beach down the shore, and I got every little part of life that I could want. And I was able to be raised by a fantastic family and able to have a great high school career as well. Even though I only played 1 year, we were very good. My junior year, we were number 8 in the country, so I got great coaching there. So I think Jersey just breeds great people, and you could tell with him, he's my type of guy. He works his ass off and just does everything right, and it shows on the field. So
yeah, I like Jersey, man. I lived in Jersey when I played for Philly. I lived there for 15 years.
Wow.
So I love being out there, going down to the shore.
Mm-hmm.
So I fell in love with Jersey, man, when I first got up there. I did. Yeah. So
no place is better than down the shore.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Hats off to Jersey for sure.
Yes, sir.
I went to blue chip football camp when I was a junior in high school at Rowan College in New Jersey. It's like right on the Rowan, yeah.
Yeah.
Dorms there are pretty crappy, but it was a good time. No air conditioning in the summertime. I couldn't wait for that camp to be over.
You know what? I used to live about 10 minutes away from Rowan College.
Oh, really?
I lived in Mullica Hill, so I was exit number 2. That's where I was coming off the interstate.
Yep.
Or the expressway, if you will. So that's why I always tell people, I was talking about like, what exit is it? I'm like exit number 2. I'm the second exit coming up.
It's all exit. It's all one highway. I'm 162. So.
Yeah. It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
So we got 2 more questions, or one's a common, more funny. But we got a question from Charles Driver. Did Mahomes give you a golf cart yet?
No golf cart, but I'm hoping and praying I make the team so I can see what gift I get, because you can't go smaller than the last year. It's the same thing with Super Bowl rings. You can't go smaller. So I hope it's going to be better than last year. I don't need a golf cart. I'll take whatever. I don't even need anything. I don't need anything. It would be nice.
Then final comment here from Del Monte Green Beans: just ball out so your Madden rating can shoot up.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm going to. That's a guaranteed. I will ball out. It may take some time. I got some great people ahead of me, and Joe, Creed, and Trey are. I mean, I look up to them. Like, they are the best interior offensive linemen in the country, without a doubt. Like, just watching film, watching what they do. Joe has 4 Super Bowl rings. Creed is rated the number 1 center, and Trey is just an absolute freak of nature. And the stuff he puts on film is highlight tape worthy the whole time. So just being a sponge with them and getting to learn from them, all their techniques. And what I'm lucky about is they're teaching me also. Like, if I mess up in a drill, they're on me after the drill, teaching me what I should do. So I'm just so lucky to have them in front of me. And it's it's incredible that I'm able to be with them. So.
Well, look, brother, man, all your hard work and perseverance, man, it brought you up to here. So you deserve to be there in the NFL. You put your time in. You've earned your spot. Okay, I know you're going to compete just with the way that you've done it, the way you've been winning, and a great organization. And it looks like you got the mental fortitude to do it. There's no question about it, man. So we're going to be checking you out a whole lot. Definitely be checking you out a whole lot, man. So
love that, man. I appreciate you guys. This was awesome. And anytime, anything I could do for y'all, anything I could do for the fans, let me know. I'm here for you guys, and it's Chiefs Kingdom. We're all together in this one.
That's right, man. It's a family. It's a family, and that's how the Hunts made it. They've always been that way. It is a family. People talk organization, but it is truly a family. It is truly a family atmosphere.
Yeah.
And there's no better organization in the NFL than where you are right now with the Kansas City Chiefs, man. So
I felt it. I'm lucky. Just truly blessed. So.
Yeah. So TJ, man, I appreciate you so much, brother. Thank you. I'm gonna see you. I'm gonna come and make sure I talk to you, man, in camp. Come holler at you. I got to go talk to my O-line guys, man. I got to see what y'all doing out there, man. How y'all moving y'all feet? Who y'all hitting? I want to hear some pass popping, man. I want to hit the pass popping a little bit. So
I got you. I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Even though if it's gonna be in camp and I may be a little bit down, you'll probably brighten up my day. So.
Yeah, I will, man. I'm like, yo, CJ, man, what's up? There it is.
Yeah,
crack some heads over here.
Give me some juice, and I'll put the juice out on the field.
Okay. All right. I'm looking forward to it, my brother. Looking forward to it, man.
Well, CJ, we appreciate you having you on, man, and being on with us for as long as you have been tonight. But we'll be in touch so you can come on again, and hopefully midway through the season we can get you on talking about how your experience has been so far.
Appreciate that. Thank you guys. And I would love to do it. And anything you guys need, let me know. Thank you guys so much for having me on. It was a pleasure. So.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Everybody in the chat, man, just talking about your excitement, what you bring to it, man. They love it. They love it right now, CJ. So everybody, you see his face, you get out there, you already know who to cheer for. CJ Hanson, one of the greatest from Jersey. All right, showing up there in the Chiefs Kingdom, you all. So y'all give a hand for CJ for what he's done, what he will be doing for here. He's going to be here for a long time. I can see that already. I do. All right.
Appreciate you, CJ.
Thanks, CJ.
Have a good one, brother.
All right.
You too.
And another one. Again, JD, I say this every time we have a guest on that played for the Chiefs. It's like from 2000 or even before that, from 1997 to now, the Chiefs just draft good dudes. And I know people want to take away, oh man, Chiefs are horrible guys. They get criminals. They get guys who go to jail. No, the vast majority of our guys, the guys we've had on our show, all have had one thing about them that's they're just good people, good dudes.
Yeah.
And that's going from, our status, a historian to our trainer to O-line to receiver, DB, everything, tight end. They're all just good people, man. And he was amazing. I mean, every guy we have on, I'm always blown away afterwards. I'm like, man, that guy was fantastic. And CJ was great.
Well, they seek these type of guys out, right? First off, as a coach, you look for a winner, okay, which CJ is. He won a lot at Holy Cross. He won when he was in high school. And then also, too, you look for talent, right? Talent has one of those things that come next because character and all those things do matter. And so sometimes, guys make mistakes. We understand that. Some of the things that's been happening off season is just kind of those one-off type of deal things, right? But the guys that we have in the building, we know they are good guys. We know that they're quality dudes. But CJ is one of those guys just adds on to, the allure of what makes the Chiefs a great team and organization. It really is. And so his talent also, too, is something that they were seeking out. His athletic ability. He said it right then or there. The things he's done, his skill set, fits in what the Chiefs do, okay? The Chiefs didn't make a mistake on who they were just drafting. They didn't, close their eyes and say, who we going to get? They they were seeking out for CJ Hanson, man. They got their guy. And there was a reason for it, right? I love because he's talking about the guys that's in front of him, that he's a sponge. He's just soaking everything in, right? Those guys are taking him in under their wing, teaching him, but also, too, he's going for multiple positions, right? The versatility he's able to give. So that creates value, Marcus. That creates value. So
let me ask you, from a player's point of view, when you come into a team, and obviously we know as fans, Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey are both free agents, impending free agents. When you come into a team, how much? I mean, I'm not going to ask him that. Do you know the free agents coming up? I mean, like, as a player who's coming into a team, are you looking at like the guy in front of you, like, oh, he's coming up in a year? Like, does that stuff even go through your mind as a player?
No, you just happy you there. Right now you got to set your own track. Because the reality is, if I don't care who a guy is, if he doesn't have a great camp or he doesn't do good while he's there, he's going to be cut. He's going to be released. He can find himself back home. And so you can't worry about all those different things, the contractual things. That's none of that is any of your business. That's not your problem. You got enough on your plate to worry about, as opposed to who's going to be here next year. What do they think as far as, contract wise with other guys? That's just too much to think about, right? Like he's just saying, I'm just trying to retain, the playbook. We get in the package. I'm training myself to be the best I could possibly be for this team, just like the other guys are doing it. So all that other stuff, man, don't worry about the other noise, because you have nothing to do with any of that, right? And so, and the guys that's in front who's coming up with the contract, all you can control is what you can control. So you look at it like this: if you play well, you will be rewarded for your play, okay? And so we understand that with Trey, with Joe, and with Creed. And so we know this because we're fans. We've been watching it. We understand contractually how things work. And if you're trying to fit under the salary cap, all those different things, we understand the reality of what's coming up, right? But for a rookie coming in, shoot, you better not worry about that. Not at all. Not at all. You're just worried about putting your shoes on the right feet, getting out there and keep your nose to the wood grind. That's it. That's it. So,
he has a good head on his shoulders, and he's very pumped, high on life, as you'd say. Definitely high on life. You can really that really oozed from him in the video clip that we played from his draft day. In this conversation, really excited about training camp. Said most guys are telling him it's awful, but he's excited about it. That's great, man.
Yeah, and it's infectious. It's infectious when you have a guy like that, like a great attitude coming in. And you understand it's going to take hard work. He understand that. They gave him, said, look, man, it's going to be hard coming into camp, but he's all for it. He's all in. He's bought in. Like, man, I'm looking for it to be hard. That's what he wants. And like I said, Andy Heck had already set the standard by look, we can't be complacent. I don't care how good these guys are talking about who you are. I don't care. Creed is, rated the number one center in the country. Joe Tooney is probably one of the greatest guards to play in the NFL. And we know Trey Smith is just a monster right there. It's considered one of the best right guards in the league. All y'all guys get better. We have a standard of what we need to do. I wanted to ask him about short yardage, if Andy got into that. But I kind of wanted to get into some of the thought process, what Andy was thinking about with the twist, what he thought, was thinking about like scheme-wise. And he's talking about the pulling and trapping, man. I love it because, him working around in space, that is a plus for us. That is a plus for us. So, yeah.
Athletic dude.
Yeah. Captain Welch, he's a blue-collar guy. He will put in the work. No doubt about it. No doubt about it, Cappy. Yeah, I love it. Andre Chanel said great energy. So,
yeah, 100%. It really was. He was. He was good. He was prepped for this thing. I feel like he wasn't even prepped for the interview. I think that's just how he is all the time. So it's amazing. It's amazing.
And our friend Stuart Saltzman said he is from Jersey. What do you expect? I hear you, Jersey guy. I hear you. That's true, man. Y'all Jersey guys, man. Y'all got something a little special to y'all, man.
Yeah, you can't. You guys are special, but you guys can't drive, but you guys are special.
Yeah.
Cindy Jennings, why can I not find a JD jersey? Well, I will say our new partner Teamu, they have Chiefs jerseys on there, and you guys can custom make jerseys. So you can put any number you want, you can put any name on the back. So check the link out in our thing in our description.
Yeah, Cindy, this exclusive. I got some here, some people got some there. It's an exclusive thing to get. That's a rarity that you can only find certain places. So I appreciate it though. Good love. Appreciate Demonte Green Beans for the little contribution, my brother. Thank you so much for that as well.
Appreciate all the love you guys gave during that episode.
Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt about it. Newt, look at Newt. Newt don't walk in here. What's up, Newt?
He's coming in at a perfect time, JD, because we're about to shift gears to a little something that we'd like to call LRZ. So this past week, Mahomes was on a podcast. Rob Riggle, the comedian, he was talking about LRZ, our guy, Newt's guy, which is perfect because we're going to be talking about some rugby football stuff tonight. But I wanted to play what Mahomes had to say. He was raving about LRZ. Get your reaction to what he had to say, JD. And get the chat's reaction as well. And then we're going to move on to talking about rugby versus the NFL football, because we've been getting a lot of questions about that from our friends over on the other side of the pond about what it looks like comparatively to the NFL. So we're gonna show Patrick Mahomes' segment right here.
Okay.
People ask me about him all the time. I'm like, I don't know much about him. Is he? Are you thinking about him like a slot back type of receiver?
So we're starting him at running back. He's going to do a lot of special team stuff, and he can actually catch. And so it looks different. He catches it like he's catching a rugby, but he never drops the football. So you don't complain on it. And I think what's been the best part about it is he works his tail off, man. I mean, he understands he needs to get better. He needs to continue to work. But the athletic ability is unreal. I mean, the 24 miles per hour, or whatever they clocked him at in rugby, is real. Like, he's fast, and it's awesome. Just about him learning football now compared to rugby. And he's got the toughness, but until he gets in the game and understands how to move and how to use that athletic ability, you don't know exactly where he's at. But when he's in space, man, he can make stuff happen.
So JD, obviously a lot there from Mahomes on LRZ. I think the thing that stands out to me is a lot of special teams. That quote where he says a lot of special teams for him, and which is what we've been saying on the show. That's going to be his golden ticket on this team. And I'm happy to hear that Mahomes said a lot of special teams and emphasized that. Mm-hmm. But everything else there, he catches the ball, a little unorthodox approach to catching the ball, which we'll talk about why that is, what he's used to. But he doesn't drop any passes, and that kind of goes hand in hand with what's been said already about him. But what do you make of what Pat's saying about our guy LRZ?
No, I mean, Pat's been watching him, and everything he's saying, I could see. I could definitely see that. Definitely running back is a position for him to be. I think because, when you're in rugby, when I watched rugby, I've been watching rugby a lot for the past couple of weeks, getting a little bit more. We're going to have a rugby coach come on, Marcus, probably in a couple of weeks to talk about some of these things. But handing the ball off or pitching it to him is the kind of the norm for him, right? And so it looks like a perfect position at being running back for him. Same thing with being a special team. Special teams is suited primarily for a guy like LRZ, okay? Because you have a lot of space, but they have a lot of space in rugby. He's able to get the returns, catch the ball the way he wants to. We talked about him catching on the side. As long as he catches the football, that's what matters, right? And so you can catch it like this over your head, and if you catching it okay, all right, we can run with that. But he just talking about how much of a special talent he is. The athletic ability shows up a lot on the field. That's a great sign. That is an absolute great sign. So Patrick seems very excited for LRZ to be out there on the field, see what he can do. And it's like you said, when pads come on, that will be the telltale sign to where he's going to be. And I like, because we talk about just tempering things, right? The process of getting better. And so I think that's what everybody needs to really embrace, is the process that LRZ is going through to get better. It may take a little time. It may take week 3 or 4. He may be on the practice squad. There's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with that. This guy is coming from being a star in rugby to come into the NFL, which is the best of the best, right? We got guys that have played football for their entire lives that may not make an NFL football team. So we understand it's going to be a little difficult, a little a transition for LRZ, who's coming from playing rugby to the NFL. So I don't think anybody needs to have set any type of crazy expectations like LRZ is going to be the starting running back in the NFL and whatnot, right? Like they showed the guy that's up there with the Bills. I can't think of his name right now, who's a rugby guy. He scored on his first time he got the football. I can't think of his name, right? And they talked about him. But they also start talking about when he was running, he would do a lot of jukes and stuff like that and kind of get tackled too, because he was used to kind of doing that in rugby. So that's what I'm looking for, man. I'm very ecstatic to watch LRZ when he comes in, when he has the pads on, to see his progression. And if he deserves his time, he's put it in to be out on the field, he's going to earn it. He's going to earn it. So
one of the biggest arguments that I've heard from fans that don't like when we said the practice squad bit, because we've mentioned that before. Because I mean, it's a process. I mean, the guy's new to football. Is the fact that he's got too much hype, where that a team would snatch him from our practice squad he would never make it there because the team was going to snatch him up because he's got so much hype surrounding him. Especially when you have a lot of teams in the NFL who want to sell jerseys and they're not going to be like a Carolina Panthers type team. They're like, okay, well, we know this guy's selling jerseys across the pond. He'll make us money at least. At least we can pick this guy up. You know, he may not play a lot, but he'll be on our active roster. I don't know, but that's been the argument that a lot of people are saying, that he won't make it to our practice squad because he's got so much hype surrounding him.
Well, let me be clear on this. We're not in the business of selling jerseys. We're in the business of winning championships and bringing it here to Kansas City. That's the business what the Kansas City Chiefs are in. We want to have a great relationship, without a doubt, with the rugby world. And I think LRZ is going to be that fit for us to do that and make it so. But make no mistake about it, man. It's all about winning. It really is. And so I think it's important for LRZ. Let's just say he's not with the Chiefs and somebody that scenario happens, right? Hypothetical, whatever. I think it's just going to be a good thing for the NFL. Okay. And so those things are very, very important, that we're still trying to at least build this collaboration with rugby to make it a big thing, right? We just want to bring some of those fans over so they can see. And we believe that LRZ might be that pathway or that guy to bring it in, that catalyst to bring more guys to this NFL world. But I don't believe that, you know, if you throw him on the practice squad, teams are going to be scrambling to get him for the jersey. If that's going to be the case, man, I mean, hey, more power to him, right? And true, we love to, we'll wish you the best, LRZ. But I think LRZ is looking to get on the 53-man roster. Okay, he's not looking to just sell jerseys. I know somebody said he's going to get a lot of fan base with the women. LRZ wants to win. He wants to be part of a championship. He wants to be able to show that he's able to do this, be able to make this transition. And I'm all for it. I think everybody else here is all for it too. And sometimes it's going to take a little time. It may take a little patience. Maybe LRZ may not want to do that. So we'll just have to see. We'll have to see.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, though, that he said this in the fact that he, while we think it's an unorthodox way of catching the ball, I mean, he's got good hands, apparently, according to Pat. And I'll take what Pat has to say on the matter. But,
absolutely.
So, JD, now we're going to get into the rugby ball versus the NFL football, the Duke, as everyone calls it. So we had some Europeans asking of what the ball looks like comparatively to rugby ball. So I don't have a rugby ball, so I had to go to Dick's today, Dick's Sporting Goods store, to get a rugby ball. This is how rugby is so not a thing in America, JD. I go there, I asked the ball. The guy was like, he was assembling the balls on the stocking the balls. I was like, hey, where are your rugbies? And he was like, He goes, oh, it might be in that bin over there. Like the bin. I was down on the wall. He goes, no, we don't really carry that many rugby balls. So I go to the bin and I find the rugby ball.
Oh, it's in the bin.
Right here.
Yeah.
Nice little Gilbert. Little Gilbert grape right here.
All right.
So that's the rugby ball for I'm sure everyone's seen a rugby ball. But seeing the two is actually pretty eye-opening. You can feel how different it is. I mean, like, so fat in the middle, JD.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
can you squeeze it? Because sometimes when I see them throwing the ball and catching it, it feels like it has a little bit more bounce to it, if it will, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah. So kind of squeeze a little bit, Marcus, if you could. You just kind of.
I mean, I'm squeezing the heck out of it. I have small hands. But I'm squeezing it right now, JD, and it's packed. It's like as pumped up as when you get a fresh basketball, JD. When it's like pumped up to the max, that's what it is. It's pumped up to the max right now.
Yeah. So that will go into the reason why he catches the ball differently. Okay, sometimes as a receiver, you're looking to have like your hands split, kind of covered. When you catch it underneath, you still want to have your your pinky fingers, you know what I'm saying, crossed over, just to have a little bit better catch of it. And so we want to catch the ball when we go out to kind of pluck it. A ball that has that type of bounce, may bounce off your hands or something. So I think he's trying to make sure he secures it, especially in rugby. It's not saying you can't catch it with your hand, but if a ball's coming at velocity, that's another thing. The ball's being thrown with this particular velocity where you won't get in rugby. In rugby, it's a lot more pitches and, you kind of catching those, man. Pat's going to be coming with some heat if he's throwing the ball. That's why he's a running back, so we can pitch, we can hand off, doing those things, as opposed to a wide receiver. Because Pat, man, he'll have a whole lot of pepper on it, right? He has a whole lot of pepper.
For our rugby people, Newt, whoever's in the chat, I was trying to throw like a football earlier, like just freaking around. I mean, this thing is like you said, Jay, you can't really get so much velocity trying to throw like a football. I was trying to throw it. I wasn't getting like the not really tight spirals, and it's tough. Can you throw it like that, like the way Kelsey Lateral did to KT last year, the football? I mean, can you throw it like that, or has it always had to be like a pitch? No,
rugby. So Newt is saying yes, JD. Also, catching rules are also different. So Newt, kind of explain real quick what you mean by that. Like the catching rules are different, okay? If you will, how you can do it quickly. But I think with a rugby, like catching it this way and kind of throwing it, seemed like it'd be a little bit of like a little floaty kind of thing.
It'll be slow as hell, yeah.
Yeah. So he said it's easy so you can kick the ball, right? Easy to kick it.
The drop kick and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. But yeah, the way Travis was able to throw the KT, he had to throw a spiral to get across the ball, the field, seriously. So 30-yard laterals. Okay. Is that like as far as like you can throw it? Like you can't, it has to be 30 yards is the max laterals? Is that what it is? So Stu said it's easy. Stu said it's easy to catch. Stu, have you played rugby, Stu? Check out a line out.
It's bigger to catch. I mean, that's why. I mean, JD, a lot of receiving drills for tight ends and receivers and running backs is they usually bring out a little tennis ball beforehand. You catch a tennis ball. If you can catch a tennis ball, you can catch a football. So I mean, now it's with the rugby, this thing is huge.
Yeah.
It's easy to catch comparatively. But here's the difference of the two. So this is an official NFL ball. It's a Duke. It's a real one.
Mm-hmm.
So we got them right next to each other. It kills it in size.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. That's why you got those right there, the seams on it, man. You could throw that spiral.
Oh yeah. I pump this up to try to match the air.
You try to pump it up? Did you? That's why it looks like it's pumped up a little bit more. I was just like, that looks.
Yeah, I pumped up a good amount to try to match this, but I mean, still, this thing's pumped up to the max. But yeah, this is for all Europeans. This is the Duke, and this is your ball right here. So yeah, it's big difference, bigger, a lot bigger.
Mm-hmm.
My head, my head smaller. Yeah, so rugby ball twice the size. Yeah, at least. Yeah, this thing's a melon, man. There's literally like a little smaller than a watermelon and throwing a watermelon.
Charles Driver said, I played rugby and it's a great game to get all the aggression out of your system. I can see that. I can definitely see that. I tell you what, I'm elated to talk to the coach coming on, and I'll tell you who he is. He's actually the head coach here at the University of Kentucky rugby team, and they actually won the national championship last year in rugby. So for the college sports, and it's kind of a huge thing. When I was talking to him, like how much it is a following, how much a world it is, just a difference. I said, man, I'm gonna come out there for, to come watch y'all play. He said they're gonna be starting in August, preseason, all those different things. He said, man, please come out there. I'd love to have you, JD. I said, man, you count me in because I want to learn as much as I can about rugby and what y'all do. So I'm excited, man, to really learn all about it. So
you should hop in with those guys and scrimmage them, JD.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen. The young guys. Hey, you know what? Hey, look, if I warm up a little bit, maybe I might want to get a little hit and see what it feels like. But hey, look, man, I've put my time into the NFL, getting these hits, and I want to talk about this, Marcus. Okay, I'm gonna bring this up, okay, because it has been a little bit of contention, all right. When I'm hearing, sometimes when we go through the comments about what's tougher, rugby or the NFL, what hits are harder, right? Which one are more violent? And so I think one of the guys like, what does it mean to take a hit? Okay, he acted like he didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I had to explain. I was trying to explain it to him, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Lewis Cutbird said, JD, you still a youngin', go out and get them hits. No, sir. Lewis, you first. You do it. You show me a video, you doing it, and I'll go out there. JD and get out there if you do it, Lewis. Deal? How about that, brother? Okay? We'll make a deal right here, me and you. All right? We'll both get out there. But I think it is a contention that these guys don't have pads on and, NFL have pads on. Listen, I want people to understand and make no mistake about it. Because you have pads on doesn't negate that the hits are going to be softer or you're not going to feel the hits. If anything, you're hitting somebody unabated, with no hindrance, with full launches, okay, with total disregard of your body. And I'm talking about jumping out of your cleats with as much power to inflict as much violence and pain upon another guy, okay? And it's the same in rugby, but also too, we were talking, when I'm hearing science guys talk about it, because I looked at some of them, they was talking about the science, it's almost like boxing. Boxing, like bare knucklers, don't hit as hard because they break their hand. They don't want to break their hand. So there's maybe a tad of pullback, maybe a little bit, but there's somewhat. Where somebody who's boxing with gloves on, I mean, you throwing full force and punches into a thing, not worried about breaking your hand. So that's what I want to say, man. Trying to get into that whole, conversation about which one's harder, which one's tougher, I think is I think is a little crazy. I think it's a little crazy. I think they're different. And then, of course, when I was talking about, he'll be getting hit at angles that he hasn't been getting hit before. Rugby, a rugby guy was saying, well, in rugby, you can kind of see the hits coming. NFL, you get blindsided all the time. If you're trying to get through a line and you think that it looks clear, because there is a whole lot of muddled, blocking and things happening, high, low from all different other places. Not saying you don't get hit like that in rugby, but it'd be more of it from the NFL. When you have your back turned, right? You might have to turn around, catch it that way. Yuck! Somebody's just, right? So we know that when LRZ comes in to the NFL, there's going to be plenty of people who's going to try to take his head off just because he's a rugby guy. Okay? So Lewis Cutbird said, NFL and rugby, two different styles of hitting. Both are tough as nails. No question about it, Lewis. 100% agree with you. 1,000% agree with you. And you got to think you can hit with a helmet on to your knee. You know what I mean? At the type of power stuff. So that's a weapon. The helmet and the shoulder, it's a weapon all together. So and helmet don't give. It's not given. So there's a lot of things that happen, man, as far as the hits and stuff like that in NFL and rugby. So I got full respect for rugby players because I watched like the hard hits. I'm like, oh my gosh, like wow. It's amazing to see it. But he's tough enough. LRZ is going to be able to that. I think that will be the minimal part of him getting prepared and making the transition to NFL is the toughness. He's already got the toughness. We don't have to worry about that at all. So,
I think Mahomes kind of alluded to it. It's not the toughness aspect. It's the mental, and it's the kind of the getting acclimated to this game, which is a totally different game. And just because we're saying he's never played this game before doesn't mean we say he can't do it. It's just
right.
We want to see him do it. I mean, this is a project for the Chiefs and him as well. So it's not like we're not saying any placing any doubt on this. We're just saying, like, look, it's not many people are saying he's gonna be our instant third down back guy. He's not, and if he is, holy crap, that's amazing. But but realistically, he's not gonna do that. I mean,
well, we look. Make no mistake, we want him to make it.
100%.
We do.
Yeah.
Hey, shoot it. And if you've earned that spot, by all means, man, well done. Right? Congratulations. Like you deserve to be there. Well done. No doubt about it. And we know he has the fortitude and the will to want to get it done. So those things like that, I think it bodes well for him. Okay. That's on his side because of the toughness, his willingness to learn, getting the playbook down, the blocking scheme, and all those different things. That I don't think is a problem whatsoever, right? So yeah, I think it's good, man. We're definitely going to see training camp with pads on is going to tell the tale. That's what it is. It's going to tell the tale. So,
yep. There's no avoiding that.
So Newt says LRZ is an open field pretty boy, can sell hair care products. But he's got some toughness. I seen him make some tackles. He got some toughness. But open field, yeah. Well, shoot, that's. I mean, he's gonna fit right in with the wide receivers. Then, the pretty. None of them jokers want to get hit either.
Yeah. So yeah, we hope you guys like the rugby and football comparison to all our European friends across the pond. So our next topic, our last topic, just more fun because we like to, during the season when the PFF grades come out, JD and I usually like to make fun of PFF. They have no idea what's going on. Some of their numbers are cool, and like we always say, they're numbers. You can twist and show them however they are. But I will say this is the first time, JD, I'm actually surprised at the love that they're giving our Chiefs here, JD. So we're gonna look at these grades. So the PFF was building a perfect AFC West team, and they did all position groups. Mm-hmm. And the Chiefs were pretty much 99% of that, with the Raiders claiming the defensive line as being the only other position team to take a position group of their perfect AFC West team. Chiefs had running backs, receivers, everything besides defensive line. So JD, I want to take a moment here to give flowers to PFF for finally getting it right. And do you think they got it right?
I do. I don't disagree with them at all. I think this is a great list. Quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, without a doubt. Running back, absolutely. With Pacheco, CEH, and everybody else we have as far as the depth chart. Receiving core, shoot, we got the top one in the AFC West. Offensive line, because tight end, that's included as well. Offensive line, we talked about this with C.J. Hanson, whoever we have up there. Defensive line, okay. Now, look, we know the Raiders have picked up a lot of guys, all right? There's some really good people. There's no question about it that they're very talented at the defensive line. I think they do get the nod because they have more household names than we do. We got Chris Jones, who's the best defensive tackle in the league, and then, of course, Karlaftis on the outside. And then after that, they're like, well, who else do you have besides that, right? So they have a pretty defensive line. I think they get a nod over us on that. Linebacker, Kansas City Chiefs. Come on. We know that. Shoot, with the guys that we have here. With Tranquil, Bolton, right, and Chenault. So we're good. We're good. And then secondary, I mean, come on. Who's going to be better than us? You can make Denver has a good secondary. Chargers have a good secondary. But the Chiefs, without a doubt, has one of the best secondaries in the NFL, period. So, yeah. No, I agree with this list. Yeah.
Yeah, the Raiders defensive line, yeah, you got Crosby, Kuntz, and then they brought in Christian Wilkins this offseason. They wanted Chris Jones, couldn't get him. They wanted Christian Wilkins, the second best defensive tackle on the in free agency. So yeah, it is a good defensive line. I mean, I can't, I will say this though, we probably have the best defensive linemen of in the AFC West. You're comparing DNs and DTs there, but I would say Chris Jones is the best defensive lineman in the AFC West. Would you agree with that, JD? Or is it too hard to compare
no,
DN, DT?
Chris is the best defensive lineman in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the West, the NFL. So yeah. I don't disagree with that. But comprised of everybody, the entire defensive line, I would give the nod to the Raiders.
Yeah.
I have no problem saying that.
Yeah. And Coots came on last year for them. He was a surprise get for us. He dominated in that Raiders Chiefs Christmas Day game. I'll tell you what, I knew who Coots was before that game. I knew he was after that game.
Oh yeah. So
he was giving our guy the business in that game. But yeah, so kudos to PFF for finally getting it right.
Definitely. So sometime, PFF, man, be tripping, be hating. Illy Beeman said that Charger fan was on that powder. It must have been something, man. On that Charger, I guess. I had a Chargers fan said that, tell me that the Chargers were going to dethrone the Chiefs this year. Yeah, must have been on that Charger. Crazy.
Yeah, they're going to be fighting for the number 3 spot in the AFC West. Yeah. But JD, it was a nice show tonight. It was a really great interview with our guy C.J. Hanson, who came on, was stuck around with us for a good bit to talk about all things Chiefs, the lead up to the draft, his work ethic. I mean, I think everything kind of showed out in this episode tonight. And then obviously talking LRZ, the rugby versus NFL stuff. Always a great conversation. But really nice episode. And honestly, guys, loved your questions. You guys chiming in tonight was amazing. You guys did a phenomenal job with your questions. You guys doing pretty good with the questions here on Monday show. And then now you're asking away these questions over the interviews. Love it.
Yeah. Newt asked me to check out a Jared Hayes. I'm gonna put that name down. I don't know what it is.
Jared Hayne. He was the guy from the 49ers, JD, the one who was there for a little bit, and then he left. He had fumbleitis problems.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The rugby guy?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna check him out.
Jared Hayne, Jarryd Hayne, Hayne.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I think he had off the field issues too, if I'm not mistaken. I think there was maybe some legal issues. I'm not sure.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Be a good watch. Though. But no, man, look, appreciate CJ Hanson coming out. He was incredible. Kathy was awesome, no doubt about it. He a lot of energy. We love that O-line anyway, so it's always good to get a good glimpse into what's going on the inside with these guys. But they're a tight-knit group of guys. Those guys are the ones that make everything work. So good, man. Good to hear it. Lewis Curtwright, Kurtberg, this show has become my favorite show. Man, appreciate it, man. Without a doubt. We're going to keep it real over here. We're going to have conversation. We're going to engage with you all, but you are our favorites anyway. So we love it. We love doing this, don't we, Marcus? Talking to you.
Love it. So why did we implemented the every Monday having a show now? You guys get us 2 times a week all year long. So it's not at first it was just gonna be an in-season thing, and then we're like, you know what? Let's make it a full year.
Yeah, let's talk to our people. Let's talk to our people out here, right?
Yes, sir.
So let me say thank you for Gary Holland, Lacey Snake, Andrea Stuga, Senior, my brother Lewis Cutbirth. Appreciate you, man. Cindy Jennings, Kathy Welch, Charles Driver. Let me see who else we had. I think I said Andrea already. Newt, Rocky, good to see you, Newt. Always good to see you when you come in, man. Always a fun time. Let me see. Illy Beeman, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you coming in, man. Let me see. Let me run up here. Randy Conley coming in, giving you 2 cents. Appreciate you, Randy. Let me see who else. Who did I miss? I always try to run through the chat real quick to see what we got. It's good because when Pono Kawhi, hey, I didn't get to see you in here. So, he had a good question. They said, do you see where LZ can improve his catching and ball gripping technique? Yeah, I think he will. But that's one of those things, man. It's that process. So he's up for it, and he'll get there. Gary Holland, thank you. I think that's pretty much everybody, Marcus, that we talked to. So appreciate you all coming out tonight, watching our show, watch us running our mouth, man. We enjoy doing it. You know that we love you. You know that. All right. From JD and then my man right here, Marcus, my brother. We're going to keep this thing rolling for you all. Going to keep it rolling. Yeah.
Sure. So JD's going to be in the tropics when we do our show next week. So JD's going to have a nice little beach background when we do this thing.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Enjoy it. So kicking my feet up, man, talking to the people. It's going to be a great time. So I'll bring y'all see where we're staying at. Good deal.
Nice. So, I hope you have a safe travels to your vacation spot this weekend, brother. Love you. I love you, man. And I love you guys in the chat. And we will see you guys Monday night. Hope everyone enjoyed the show and have a great great weekend.
Absolutely. God bless you all. Y'all take care. Y'all be safe. Love you guys. All right. Marcus, my brother, love you, man.
Love you, brother.
See y'all later.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.